see the grim dark colours and the effects standing out with brighter colours to indicate things to the player. Now here's a side-by-side picture of Dawn of War 3's Wraith Knight. The picture on the left, I reduced the saturation and brightness just quite a little to show the difference it makes. I know it's not going to save the game, but already it gives off a grim dark feeling. But talking about effects, what the hell is going on? Now, effects can look great in games, but Dawn of War 3, I just felt like it was impossible to keep track of the battle and my units. Everything in the game was glowing, and the parts that were meant to glow gave me seizures just looking at them. Obviously when your match first starts, it's sort of firefight, and you can definitely keep track of your units. But when it gets to the late game, the amount of effects on the screen really ruins the experience of seeing what's fighting and what. And instead, in the grim dark future, there is only disco balls and blink.
Shots for the gram. But now I go deeper and challenge myself to try new things. It's not just travel, it's travel that shapes you.
Look what they did to you. Don't worry, my child. They can no longer hurt you. You're in a better place. To be fair, they got a little bit of this right. I understand why Grant is doing it, but obviously they did this for adult reasons. Really just want his core since in the content out is giving them different weapons and this ability. But there were some design choices with the models in the game that I hated. Why when you open a tactical move squad does everyone get a plasma gun? There was something so cool in Dawn of War 1 and 2 that only one person got an upgrade. That's one of the things I liked about the death watch in Dawn of War 3 was that only one guy got both guns or flamethrower. Another thing I love in this game where the space marine legs were longer and obviously more guys with a tactical move squad got the upgrade is because I met someone in game sponsor who told them to do this. The size ratio of the space marines in game look far more like Paradise Space Marine. With all of them having plasma guns, it makes them way more look like a Hellblaster squad. It's almost as if Games Workshop were betting that this game would one day be a huge success, which they could one day change their models how many games they brought up for Chimeras. Combined with the fact that it was only 1 month after Dawn of War 3's release that 8th edition got released, showing all the Chimera Space Marines, it seems intentional. Once again, the models did not look bad, but honestly, what made the models look worse was the abilities added to them, like Gorgon's is probably fucking, swinging halfway across the map like a monkey.
You will fall! The enemies of man cannot stand before us.
Each faction will have different names or different ones that they call to the wildlands. But where were the turrets and the mines? And why could I not upgrade my listening post to be bigger and better at defending? Some of my best hours in Dawn of War 1 were just being a little bitch and camping in the map, just making a huge defense that my enemy would have to try and push through. Even Dawn of War 2 with no base building let you build more defenses than this game. And yes, I know turrets were added in an update, and technically speaking, you already had a turret with the one that you had to kill to attack the base. But don't worry, I'll be getting to you very fucking soon. Some of the animations in-game were just ridiculous. Just to name a few, Gabe running made it like he was not even wearing Terminator armor. In Dawn of War 2, the Terminators moved slow, and this gave them a sense of weight behind them, that they were a beast of a unit. I mean, this can be applied to any Space Marine unit in the game. They all moved so fast. Compared to Dawn of War 1 and 2, it just didn't give this sense of like they were wearing armor. Gorguts and his walking claw just looked awkward. Yes, the Dawn of War 1 Gorguts looked funny, but I think it was acceptable back then. It just looks goofy now. I mean, I understand they were trying to make stuff look orky, but instead they just made it look handicapped. But I can let that slide. What I can't is sync kills. I know some people were defending this, saying that it makes smoother gameplay and the models do good stuff will get killed on retreat, but I don't think that justifies it enough. That's crazy. Sync kills was part of Dawn of War's brand, as Grim Dark is as well. You take the Dawn of War name off this game, and fine, it's a great game. But Relic knew sync kills were part of their most valued traits in the Dawn of War franchise, so removing it just didn't sit right with many people. It also showed their passion for the game. The fact that Tau had melee animations in Dawn of War 1 speaks volumes of how much they cared. The best way I feel I can put this into perspective is imagine Total War Warhammer 3 or Space Marine 2 coming out with no sync kills, and then they said it was because it made the game flow better. It would be truly upsetting, and that's how people felt when Dawn of War 3 came out.
We talked about the soul lane or soul lane importance, but we've also talked about Fnatic's ability to affect those soul lanes with anyone other than those two players individually.
Get the fuck out of my RTS. What the fuck?
Welcome to Dawn of War 3. Take a load of breeze. What's the big idea of putting yours? Dawn of War 3. Next to my city. Dawn of War. I do not understand your accent. You want to... Dawn of War 3. No, I don't want city. Dawn of War 3. If you're gonna go find another city town, open your... Dawn of War 3.
This is what doomed Dawn of War 3. They had a choice, annihilation or victory point control. Instead they thought, hey, how can we get more money? Oh, I know, let's try to get the RTS fans and the MOBA fans. If we give the RTS fans their big armies and base building, but combine that with the lanes and defense towers of MOBA fans, we will get both. Wrong, you get none. If the reason for having the shield generator, sentry and power core is to stop rushes, then just have them in the base. When you set up lanes and create areas people have to go fight, then you don't allow for rush builds, flanking, base building in other spots. Now, I will say, we live in a day where remakes, remasters, and copycat games are remade every year, like Battle Royale and first-person shooters. No one tries anything new, so I have to openly acknowledge that Reddit tries to do something different, which is very rare these days in the game industry. And if this was the 8th Dawn of War game, then taking it in a new MOBA direction might be acceptable. And this was only the 3rd installment of your IP. You still have many other areas to explore with content before needing to create new core mechanics. You should have expanded in the 3rd game on areas people wanted more of, instead of focusing your resources on creating an unwanted game mode. The best part of Dawn of War was having a second base to fall back on. The way Dawn of War 3 was designed, you might as well just have one building that did everything. Setting up defenses was the whole part of Dawn of War 1's base building. And launching with one game mode. Are you mad? Dawn of War 1 launched with more, and that was in 2004. I mean, come on, you could have at least made every shield gen and sentry gun to match the faction you're playing as, or made the map far bigger. But of course, you could not build headquarters till the Annihilation update, so there was no point. At least when you launched the game, you should have had 2 game modes. Even if your MOBA game mode was really successful, Dawn of War 1 showed you that people love Annihilation mode, so why wasn't it there from the start? Or what about Last Stand, one of your most successful gamers in the whole of Dawn of War? I mean, you had so many elites to choose from in Dawn of War 3 that you could have had as playable characters. And this is one of the game modes where you're using all of the units from an army fighting one character. The explosions, the flashing lights would have actually fitted quite well.
It's crazy.
There's just so many missed opportunities with Dawn of War 3 that really makes it a disappointment.
Fiery skies shall light the land, and blood shall spill from the The spear of Cain shall cut the wayfarers, and the storm prince shall unite them. Their victory shall shake the heavens.
Honestly, the cinematics did not bother me. They actually looked really good. What I hated though was it teasing you the entire time with a more grim, dark looking game, and I was like, where's this game? I want to play that, not this. The campaign is broken into 2 parts, the story and the missions. The basis of the story is that there's a weapon known as the Spear of Cain on this planet. The 3 races try to get to the spear, and it results in them releasing a demon. They have to team up to kill it. Obviously, there's more detail, but the story itself is not bad. It's just not amazing. However, one problem I did have was the sort of Avengers team up at the end with the 3 races, you know, with Eldar, Space Marine and Orcs working together. It just felt so odd. I mean, I know this happens in the lore, but it's so rare. And Gorguts, the biggest of all Orcs, working with other races, just does not sit right with me.
The concern is the demon. He is here, and we must destroy him.
Oh, wait. You mean us as a team?
The wayfarers must unite.
Sod off!
What would have been a great twist is that after the demon was killed, suddenly a whole Necron army is awakened beneath the surface of the planet, which turns out to be a tomb world, and you play as the Necrons attacking all 3 of the other races. The missions for Dawn of War 3 is what ruined the campaign for me. I mean, I could go into more detail into each one, but I'm not. The main problems, first of all, was base building being used so little. I felt like I was barely building bases when playing. Once again, it might as well just been a Dawn of War 2 style base where it did everything. The last mission really gritted my teeth for 2 reasons. First of all, you gave us 3 characters.